Loyal Oaks Community Chapel, which is what it was called then, became too sick to do it anymore. He said, I believe God wants you to take over this orphanage. This orphanage has been established for a long time. It had approximately 120 children at that time, ranging anywhere from 1 to 22 years in age. So it was quite an undertaking. Melissa was single, kindergarten teacher, said, okay, I'll do it for a year. So she took a sabbatical and went over for a year. Sorry. Melissa fell in love with it, and she's never left. I don't know where all that came from. Bear with me, sorry. Anyway, so she has lived there all this time. Now, one of the things I want to say right up front, Imagine Missions, anybody who sows into Imagine Missions in any way, shape, or form, financially or otherwise, 100% goes to Imagine Missions. Goes to the children, goes to the orphanage, goes to schools, it goes to the Haitian staff that we have down there. No staff member, the board members, us doing fundraising, or Melissa receive 1 penny of this money. This is all done voluntarily. It's what we believe God has told us to do. Okay, standing alongside Melissa down here in the bottom is Roselle. Roselle's a gentleman who lived in the States for many years. He's Haitian, and now he's back over in Haiti. He is the Haitian director of Imagine Missions. Without Roselle, Melissa could not do what she does. All right, he's the counterpart on the Haitian side of this. I'll let you talk soon, I promise. Okay, for those of you who may not know, Haiti is part of the island called Hispaniola. Everybody's heard of the Dominican Republic because there's so many resorts and a lot of people like to go down to them. Well, 1/3 of that island is Haiti. And while the Dominican Republic is a very lush and beautiful country, and we've been there on mission trips with another organization, Haiti is very, very barren, very poor, third world country. Some countries actually consider Haiti to be fourth world. Can anybody tell me what that means? When they say you're a fourth world country, you're third world, and we don't believe there's any hope for you, so we're not going to help you. And there are many countries in this world who put Haiti in that category. They don't even want to help anymore. I think our slide presentation got out of order. Okay, we're going to go through this in whatever order it falls. Forgive me, I didn't get mixed up somehow. What you're looking at here is part of the orphanage. What Connie and I did, as Penny explained, we went over is we did some construction to help build. We took what we had and went over there and we helped build some buildings. But Connie, being a registered nurse for so many years, actually established an active clinic on the orphanage. There was a little bit of a first aid station there, but she got a clinic up and running, got a lot of things donated, and worked on a lot of people. I can tell you some pretty good stories. We had one young man, Benson, who came off the top of a dump truck one day coming down the mountain. And I do mean the top of the dump truck. And they put him on the back of a motorcycle because you just don't call an ambulance in Haiti. And they brought him to the orphanage and they worked on him for 2 hours. And he's fine. So it's amazing some of the stuff that she did. Off to your right, there's a building there called the Transition House. You can't see too much of it because of the wall. And then the upper part of that is the apartment. And that's actually the apartment that we built to live in when we were living there. You want to talk about the orphanage yourself? Some of the buildings and such? Go back. Sorry. This is unrehearsed. That? No, it's mixed up. That's why I'm saying it's out of order, so we're just going to do it as it comes, okay?
So,
you want to talk about this?
Yeah. Okay. Before I came to the orphanage, I would like to just little testimony about me, just a little bit. Before I came to the orphanage, to Imagine Mission, I came there very little boy. And my parents are dead, and I came there at 7 years old. Now I have 22 years old, and I left the orphanage in 2012. But that yard in the orphanage, when you have 70 years old, you need to move to the big building there, because if you still living yard by the kids, but the government action will have a trouble with Imagine Mission because they make sure if you are 18 years old, you need to move the Imagine Mission to go outside. You need to live by your house. But because we don't have family to take care of us, but Imagine Mission continue to help us about school, t-shirt and place to live. But I say thank you to Imagine Mission. The little kids you see over there play by the basketball, they enjoy it. Because before they come to the orphanage, they have any place to live in, no parent to take care of them. When you don't have a good family to take care of you, your family don't take care of you. They look you bad. If you don't reach people, you is poor, your parent is there, they don't care about you. Okay, thank you.
If you didn't understand that completely, the transition housing, on an orphanage in Haiti, when you turn 18 years old, that day, you're out the gate. If an orphanage keeps you on their grounds after the age of 18, the Haiti government can shut you down. Melissa had such an incredible heart for the older kids that she came back and raised the funding to build the transition house. And the reason you see the wall in front of it, the orphanage owns some more ground. We built a secondary wall, put that building on the outside of the wall, and then the government allowed the older children, if they lived in that building outside that wall, to stay a part of Imagination. So they were still under the security blanket, they were still kept safe, and they were still able to go to school. Okay, just a couple shots of Connie and myself, just so you know we were really there. Connie did an incredible amount of ministry there. She worked on the orphanage, obviously, every single day. She took care of the kids, took care of their needs, but she also worked when doctors would come down and visit Imagine Missions. She would go out with them into the various communities or up into the mountain, different towns, and do mobile clinics. There's a great need for medical outreach throughout there. And then what we try to do is we try to take food, so we would distribute food to the people, we would do checkups on the people. If it was something more serious, then we'd try to get them further help per whatever the doctor would tell us. So it's just important, I want to stress to you, the Imagine Missions isn't just about this little circle here with these kids inside this wall. Imagine Missions is outreaching to the community and up onto the mountain and as far as it needs to reach. It's got a heart for the people of Haiti, period. Oh yeah, me. I preached. I'm not an ordained minister of any type in the United States of America, and I didn't go over there necessarily to do that, but I went over there to help build and do construction and do Bible studies. I have attended some Bible colleges in my military career at night. But once I got there, the burden was on my heart. I was asked to preach on the orphanage. We actually have a church. So I did some preaching there. Well, as time went on, we went up to visit a prison up in a place called Mirvalet. We went up to Mirvalet and we preached in the prisons. Now, obviously I don't speak fluent Creole, so I would always have an interpreter, somebody like Alex who would interpret for me. But it's just something that God put on me. I went back down there in March for about 9 days to visit and work on a project, and God allowed me to be able to preach again. So it's reaching the people, it's feeding the people, it's clothing the people, but it's also preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ, because without the hope of Jesus, there is no hope. You just get food for a day, or you get some clothes for a couple days, but without Christ, there's no hope. So we try to minister complete, spiritual, mental, and physical. Again, I apologize, these slides are all mixed up. These are the core values, and I don't want to take the time to read through these. When you leave here today, on the table back there, I put some brochures. The brochure talks all about imaginations. It's got a lot of different pictures inside of it. It's got information about it, and it talks about our core values. All right? It tells you how you can get in touch with imaginations and how you can help. So please, if nothing else, grab a copy of the brochure and read up on imaginations. It's got a website that you can go to. You can follow what's going on from day to day and see how you can be a part of it. Okay. Daily life in Haiti. Anybody know what daily life in Haiti might be like? Many people in Haiti, obviously, as you well know, don't get to eat. And a lot of the children that come to the orphanage are not parentless, but their parents are so poor that they can't afford to feed them. And so they bring them to the orphanage. And this is a real burden for the orphanage sometimes because people are constantly coming. Please take my children, please take my children, I can't feed them. And we can only take so many. And then you've also got the government bringing children in. So what we do in the orphanage is we try to make sure that everybody gets a nice, somewhat balanced meals throughout the day. Here, I want to talk about that a little bit, food.
Okay. I love this picture because I remember when I came to the orphanage, my uncle took me there because he saw me sleeping on the street. Before my parents are there, they rent, you know. But we have any family to continue to rent for us, but I sleep on the street. My uncle saw me, he took me there. When I came there, it's like a paradise for me, like heaven for me. Because I have food, I have children to play. In imagination, it's like a family for me. It's a family in imagination. That's why, you see, the kids is very happy when they eat it. Because they have food. They have food right now, they eat it. But not a lot of people in Haiti have food to eat. No. But imagination make a good job to helping kids. That's very good. For school, for church, that place I meet Jesus too. That's why today I have Jesus in my life. If it's not imagination, I don't know how. Maybe I was a bad boy at the street, you know, but I don't know what's happening if I don't get to the orphanage. But now I have a Jesus in my life. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex. Again, please accept my apology. The slides got mixed up somehow in the transition on the jump drive, so this is not exactly in order. So if it seems out of sequence, please bear with me on this. On the orphanage, we have a school. We have approximately 10 teachers. We have a principal, and the school goes from pre-K up to 6th grade. After that, they have to leave the orphanage and go to a public school in the town called Guadalupe. Before this, most of these children obviously didn't get an education. Despite the fact that Haiti is so poor, the government does not provide any type of education. If you want to go to school, you have to pay for it. And if you want to go to school, you have to be in uniform. You have to have the right shoes. You have to have the right haircut, or they will not let you in school. So, Imagine Missions provides for them to go to school on the orphanage up through 6th grade, but after 6th grade, the government requires that the children go downtown to their public school system. So what you see here is a lot of the children on the orphanage actually in their classes. Community outreach. We do quite a bit of community outreach. It's not something that was done originally, but Melissa's tried to do more and more and more of it. What she has now, every Saturday the team house is filled excuse me, with single mothers who don't have anyone to reach out to. And she'll show a movie, or she'll do a Bible study, or she'll do some kind of crafts. And at the same time, older kids come down from the orphanage and work with those children to try to teach them and train them and bring them into, fellowship and relationships. Community outreach is very, very important to Imagine Missions. And I mentioned something there. I mentioned the team house. The orphanage is located at the end of this dirt road in a village called La Hatte. Okay? About 4 or 5/10 of a mile up this winding road is where the team house is. And you think, okay, why doesn't Melissa just live on the orphanage? Isn't that a waste of money to have a team house? You would think so. The Haitian government will not allow the director of an orphanage to live on the orphanage. I don't know why, they just don't. So Melissa lived there for 6 months, but then, she was told, you got to get off of here or we're going to shut this orphanage down. So they started renting a team house. Now, we have teams that go to Imagine Missions all the time. There's almost no time in the year that there isn't a group of people from somewhere in the United States down at Imagine Missions, building a project, working on irrigation, going out and doing ministry, whatever they may be doing, and mostly interacting with the children and letting them feel a part of the community. So the team house is imperative, and one of the greatest things, the most exciting things, is after 6 years, the gentleman who owned the team house dropped the price by 2/3. He had wanted $150,000 for this house, and he dropped it to $50,000. We did 2 challenges online through ImagineMissions.org and raised the money in 3 weeks. We now own the team house. So now not only do we have an asset, as well as the orphanage property, we have that asset, but there is also no longer any need to be paying rent. That's $600 a month that's coming in that now can be sent, directly into feeding the children and buying clothes that we don't have to pay for the room and board of the team house. I'm also going to give you a big chance here shortly to ask questions, and I'm also going to bring Connie up, so if you've got questions, please get them ready. Okay, sponsorship. How can you help Imagine Missions? There's sponsorship of a child. You can go online to the website and you can sponsor one child for $35 a month. That'll help to feed and clothe and put in through school that child. Now when I say put through school, I'm talking about anybody that's in 6th grade or below. Another way that you can help, and again they're mixed up, please forgive me, the slides are mixed up, is what's called the Essentials Club. We're trying to get 500 people to commit to 2 years of sending just $20 a month. That would help us to meet the budget. Okay, and you're asking, what's the budget? It costs $3,000 a week to feed the children, to buy the incidentals, and to buy diesel fuel to run the generator. Because most of the time we do not have electrical power on the orphanage. And that sounds incredible, but that's what it is. It's close to $15,000 a month. So the biggest need at Imagine Missions is a continual, steady group of people that are just sending the monthly support, as well as the big things that we need. Okay, secondary education. You want to talk about that just a little bit?
Thank you. That secondary school, for you go to school in Haiti, secondary, it's so expensive. For you buy uniform, for shoes, for everything. For you make your hair very nice, but it means cut the hair for the kids to be orphanage. I forgot to tell you that. But for you go there, it's so expensive for you go to school. It's not, if you don't have money for you go to school, you don't have education. No. If you don't go to school, you don't have education. You don't go to school, you can't get a job in Haiti. No people can accept you come to ask job. You're supposed to go to school before to help brain. But Imagine Mission help us to go to school. That's very good. But they continue to help me. Even I don't live in the orphanage. Even I left the orphanage. They continue to help me. I kept help for the kids. Melissa paid me for that. And I buy food. She continued to pay school for me. Thank you.
That's one of the exciting parts about Imagine Missions is Melissa and Rosa are trying so hard to train the older children to do something in the community. So they're trying to bring people in the summer times to do like vocational training. Alex cuts hair. We've got young men on that orphanage that lay tile, do masonry work, do plumbing, do electrical, anything that, and some people will come in and do or teach them, or even if they're in there working, there's some of the young men are motivated enough to go and try to learn from them. So they are trying to teach them and give them some kind of trade so they can be self-supported once they have to leave the orphanage. It's a little bit about the monthly budget, which I talked about. Okay, and that's the big group right there. Okay, I want to apologize to y'all again one more time, please permit me. This was a little out of sync and it didn't flow the way I'd like it to. I want to share more about what it meant to us and why we went, but I don't think time permits that, does it? No, it doesn't. Okay, and that's fine. I want to respect your time and your schedule. Connie and I went over there in January 2012 and fell in love with it. And it was just like, you know what? This is what we're supposed to do. Now we're back, but we're back for a time. She'll retire from nursing in March of 2017, and our goal is to do like a 6 months there and a 6 months here. So it's something that we're going to stay involved with as long as God permits us to be standing upright and being able to function on this planet. So this is what I would put out to you. We'll talk to anyone for as long as you want to talk or ask us questions about imaginations or what we've done. We'll talk to you about the need. We'll talk to you about our experiences. And if you're interested in seeing what this place looks like, if you're sitting there going, I don't know if this is for real, I will go there with you anytime. I paint for myself. I cannot paint tomorrow and go to Imaginations. I will go at any time. I'll go over there with you. You can see the community. You can see the mission. You can meet Melissa, and you can go in the orphanage. So if any of you are really interested in seeing what this is all about, I will go with you. I will stay there with you, and I will come back with you. That's a guaranteed offer. Connie will also make that offer, but it depends on her schedule at work more than mine does. So I have to bear with that. And if I can say one more thing, something you could be praying about or considering, the big need right now is a brand new vehicle. Not a brand new vehicle, it's a 2009. Everything over there is diesel. We've lined up a 2009